Endgame.
We've come away to spend our final days alone here at the summer house. The wind has whipped the sea into a frenzy of white-capped breakers crashing into the shore over the many rocks that fringe the sandy cove on which the wooden weatherproof building is sited. It was bought as a place in which to find escape from the rigours of the city. The jobs we both hold are, or rather were, frenzied and stressful, so we decided to buy a haven of peace and quiet. This place, Bay Lodge as we christened it, has seen many happy and hopeful times for us both. But not now. Not at this moment. Gabby lies sleeping, and I am looking out of the window as the elements play their symphony in tune with the torment that I feel inside. Rain lashes the window from dark malevolent clouds that seem to hang within touching distance. Lightning scritches and scratches its course across the sky, spitting forks of intense energy earthward, to be quickly followed by the cacophonous rumbles of thunder which roll out its rhythm with inept timing. The storm is drawing near. I sip from my glass of chilled but flat Dom Perignon, the taste of which is dull and pallid in my mouth. This is not the time for such extravagance. But then, what better time could there be to sample the delights of one of man's better creations? Dusk is falling, but it's impossible to recognise without first glancing at the clock. The sun has not appeared for days. The balance of the weather has slipped from the understanding of the dominant species, and is instead played, like dice, by whatever god has allowed this abominable moment to arrive. But to blame this scenario on any god is unjust in the extreme. This is man's doing, and is man's doing alone. And so I sip my wine, watching a wind-battered gull struggle its way towards its roost away up high on the cliffside. Somewhere it will tend to its family, oblivious of all the knowledge of that of which is to come. Gabby stirs, mumbles some message from the sleepy world in which her fears take shape, and then settles once more. I have vowed to be with her, to care for her, and to love her until such time as the days and nights mingle. Until time, finally, halts. I glance across at her restless form and smile, recalling the moment that we first met. She was dressed in a printed summer frock of vivid orange and gold. Her long, slightly curled blonde hair tumbled down across her shoulders. Her blue eyes sparkled, jewels of heavenly origin, which were only outstripped by that smile. By her smile. A smile long since absent, and far too rare in these last days. In the corner of the room, a radio is playing out its portentous diatribe. Through reams of static, Brother Lead and Sister Steel are playing out live to the waiting world their final acts. The final scenes. When we lie together quietly at night, I often look across and listen to Gabby's breathing. Lately, I have taken to going a step further, and have placed my hand upon her tightening belly, in the hope of feeling that second heartbeat within. We have named the child Adam. The radio announcer reels off the names of those dignitaries who are still, even at this late hour, trying to prevent the inevitable. Like Canute demanding that the sea return to its borders, they will fail, and they will drown in the ignorance of the power that is being made ready. The President and the Prime Minister, say the announcer, will be making broadcasts in the next few moments. I can feel the expectancy of hope and the resentments of disappointment mingle in my gut. Hope that a solution has been found, resentment in the knowledge that this broadcast will be our great leader's swan song. I wonder who they think they will have left to govern from their sanctuaries up there on Space Station Nebulous. Their ministers will grow resentful of the fact that they have had to leave behind their own families so as to serve the greater good of the world. Resentment turns rapidly to hatred, and so the whole cycle will begin once more, 1,000 or more miles above this dying planet. Will they ever learn? Will they never learn until the final act is over? I promise I will stay with my sweet Gabrielle. The news of the baby was the happiest of our time together. Plans were made and rooms were decorated, cots bought, jumpers knitted, and names, frivolous and jokey, were bandied about. Then came the invasion, and then came the response, and from that time to this, darkness has descended. The rain has stopped outside, and the clouds appear to have lifted a little. The thunder is turning off its beat machine, the lightning saving its energy. I wonder how this scene appears from above. I wonder whether anybody knows what exactly they are doing at this moment, or why. I sip my wine. The announcer presents the Prime Minister, and he stumbles and stutters some words through the static. His insincerity is even more magnified than usual, the crack in his voice just poignant enough to make one pause to think that he is acting genuinely. But then I remember how we have arrived at this junction of world affairs, and discount the notion. The man is merely acting out his own part, with well-timed, effectively primed efficiency. The announcer then presents Mr. President. His voice is cold and assured. He promises that what is about to take place is for the benefit of those lucky enough to have secured their place of safety aboard the space station, so that they might recreate a safer and more harmonious world elsewhere, and so that humanity can prosper without fear, without hatred. Sacrifices have had to be made. So says Mr. President. Does he not understand even now that by carefully selecting those who are to survive this night and those who are to perish, that he is merely extending the experiment, that he is trying to play the role of God in recreating man's place in the world in his own image? May God bless us all, he says, and signs off. A burst of static emanates from the radio, and I notice that Gabby's eyes have opened. When the politician has finished, she turns towards me and motions that I move away from the window and lay down beside her on the bed. I will always be with you, right up until the very final moment, I swear silently, and then find myself praying for it not to happen. The man on the radio is speaking once more. He is making his final announcement. As he speaks, I turn one last time towards the horizon and see that a shooting star has sized its way through the lifting clouds.
This is Station Earth. We are closing down now.
I move to the bed, lay back next to my wife, hold her close, whisper to my unborn baby inside, and watch the artificial sunrise in Gabrielle's eyes. The final words that I hear before the shooting star explodes outside are those of a mechanical, maniacal messenger.
Transmission ends.